Hello, my name is Dora Martin. I'm new here to the Lee Hill District. Thank you for the opportunity to come and ask questions and advocate not for just teachers and children all over the county, but my own children and their academic needs as well. I'll begin with my high schooler. He has had to spend entire classrooms in an auditorium due to the teacher shortages and lack of substitutes. Next, we have my SPED child, who has had school canceled altogether for those same reasons. Finally, my second grader, who has been hours late to school due to driver shortages and buses doing double runs. They've all been late to school and they've all been late coming home. I'm sure you can imagine what 2 hours late for instruction or auditorium time with no instruction can do to a child's education, especially given that Virginia Code 221-254 restricts us parents from allowing so many absences and tardies in a given time due to the impact that it would have on their learning. We're required to comply with that, and we're asking that you fund your staff to a level that allows you guys to do the same. I'm asking for clarity on what's being done to ensure that schools and transportation are fully staffed and functional, and to ensure that teachers aren't having to make a choice between showing up sick or canceling class. So I wanted to know how one voice can make a difference, but in asking around, I found that the community's perception is that the board doesn't support our public school system and that they appear to be overseeing a politically based system as opposed to an independent, nonpartisan system that supports the expertise of its educators or wants us to trust our educators. They also suggested that I reach out to the board and my representative, and I did, and we spoke about my special ed child. But it was concerning to me that she said she was unaware of any staff shortages and suggested the possibility of public school or private schools and reimbursement for them services. Individuals with Disabilities Act requires that districts provide a free and appropriate public education to qualified students who have an impairment that substantially limits major activities regardless of the nature or severity. Being new here, we are on a wait list for my child's very necessary and important professional help, his therapies. So the school is all that he has for professional help. But if the school and staff that work with him every day don't have our full support and modern supplies and necessities, how will he get the help that he is so very entitled to under FAPE law? According to a survey from RAND, 1 in 4 teachers said that they were likely to quit and be out of the profession altogether by the end of this year. So we could have the best public program in the state, but if we don't have quality teachers to effectively teach the curriculum, then our children won't be able to exceed the way that they need and deserve. And you can't get or keep those kinds of teachers if we're not supporting them the way that they need and deserve. Shortages started long before COVID, but COVID has exacerbated it. When the NEA surveyed nearly 2,700 teachers in June, 32% said that the pandemic alone prompted them to leave the profession. Our most profound shortages are teachers and the drivers, and the ones that we do have are at risk of burnout. They too have to juggle being a parent and caring for their own parents that live with them, and not to mention their own self-care, purchasing supplies, and their workload as they take on extra students with inadequate compensation. If our children are our number one priority, then what can be done to keep our minds and attention just a little more on them? Well, we need this board to come together to find a way to fund major teacher recruitment and retention efforts and ways to decrease turnover. We need you to seek long-term goals on how we can keep competitive wages, inspire new teachers to join our workforce, and consider ways for part-time employees to go full-time. We need you to think outside the box to find a way to fill in gaps when our teachers are sick and whole classes in an auditorium just isn't cutting it. We need you to be able to honestly tell us, the parents, the constituents, that you left 0 stones unturned in regards to providing our children.
Ms. Martin, forgive me for interrupting, but your time has expired.
Okay. If the district leadership are unwilling to listen or come together to address the needs of the educators in the deepest crisis moment they've ever felt, what is that saying to current and aspiring teachers? How are they supposed to interpret that for when times are better? To attract great teachers, our district as a whole must improve, and that starts here in this room with you and your approach to this new budget. Thank you.